Pledge allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. The Nebraska Open Meeting Act statement and poster is behind the name in there. I want to know all the legality. Okay. Roll call. Christie.
Here.
Josh. Here. Frank. Present. Kim.
Present.
Rex. Present. Good. Uh, let's do the norms tonight. Frank, you want to start them?
Listening. We will listen to understand by using eye contact, not interrupting or having side conversation.
Students will make decisions based on what is best for all students of Stapleton Public Schools using current data, considering impact on staff, and following all legalities.
Expectations. We collaborate to do great things for students. We avoid negativity but encourage distinction and constructive criticisms without repercussions. We value different opinions and trust that everyone is working for the best interest of the student.
Confidentiality. In order to freely discuss what we need to discuss, we keep what occurs during executive session confidential.
Time. We agree to come prepared by reading the packet before the board meeting and for administrators to share only highlights during the report. Utilize a timekeeper and a time agenda in order to have efficient meetings.
Participation. We invite input from all. We agree to be respectful of everyone's thoughts and ideas. We will articulate clearly, concisely, on topic, and loudly enough so all can be heard.
Okay, thank you. Any special thing on board development tonight? Yeah.
Well, we had a couple of committee meetings this afternoon, one on American Open and dealing with negotiations. We can start with the handle up themselves.
Anybody want anything, Kristen?
Just preliminary meeting for negotiations.
The mechanism is very good. I think we're very fortunate to have the teachers that we have heading this. They're on track and coupling things together, and I think all the teachers that were there today were passionate about it.
I was pleased with the presentation.
Yes, very, I mean, gave a very good presentation. The others stepped right in, and I don't know if they'd had time to practice it, but they did a good job of.
We have Mr. Wiener, Mr. Halstead, Mrs. Catlett, and Mr. Gibbs, for the teachers that were there.
They all had input.
Yeah, it was very good.
Okay. Everybody's here, so we're gonna have to do anybody. All right, do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I'll make that motion.
Second? I'll second it. Second. Any discussion, questions? Okay, Rex?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Christie?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Frank?
Yes.
Yes. Publication of notice, notice that downtown, several of the businesses, their schools, I think it was put on the website.
Website. And
All right. Move on, we have the public comment and recognition of visitors. Nice to see a nice group in the flesh tonight. Being able to look back and forth at each other instead of by watching us. Right now, if you, and I know we've some of you kind of have an agenda, and if you wanna speak, now's the time, but I think it's about the junior high football. If somebody wants to take the lead.
Well, I just have concerns on our numbers for next year for junior high. We have 3 boys that'll be coming into 7th grade. There's to play football. There's 2 that'll be in 8th grade. There's 5 boys. Well, if we can't make a team, I know 2 of them, 2 kids will probably go to Sedgwick because they live there to go for it, so they can play. And I mean, I love the school we have here, and we have great teachers, and they're getting a quality education. But it's nice to have sports teams too. You know, I feel it boosts self-confidence and stuff like that. So we're gonna have to figure something out so we can have teams. And I just was wondering, I don't know really, I haven't been to a board meeting in a while. I don't know what has been said with Tryon, whatever. And just was kind of wanting to know what direction we're going in and stuff. And I know how a lot of you feel because I've talked to a lot of you about it. And I know, well, Kim told me that she's concerned with the gym and everything else over there. Then on our Pee Wee football team we have with Tryon, we have 11 from Stapleton through 5th, 6th, 3rd, 4th. They have 9. And they all get along, they play good together. And the younger classes, like, and I'm talking about my kids a lot, and I'm sure everybody else is kind of thinking the same, but Potter in 3rd grade, I think there's 4 boys. He's the only one that plays sports. In the grade below him, in 2nd grade, I can't remember if there's 3 or 4 boys, but I think 2 boys play sports and one of them's a go for it. Cason's class, you know, and I don't even know in the 5th and 6th, you know the numbers? But we're really low on, I mean, numbers to play football, especially. I don't know about basketball. I'm sure I know there's more numbers to play basketball. But Kyle and Kason and BJ. Oh, BJ don't play basketball. So, I mean, I feel we need to do something. And I feel it needs to be fair too, because I know you guys got a thankless job and you have to put up with all this, but we need to really think about these younger classes and stuff and where we're going. Because if we can't play sports, you know, some of us might leave. I know education's first, but it's also really nice to be able to play sports too. Thank you.
Can I ask a question? Do you know how many of those boys are actually involved in activities or would potentially be involved in activities, or is it just sports that you're thinking about?
Well, I'm just thinking mainly of football myself.
Activities as in.
Well, I mean, research shows that as long as kids are involved in something, that they're gonna do better educationally. And right now, we have a high percentage involved regardless across the board. It doesn't have to be sports, that's why I was asking.
I mean, that's hard to know until they get into those grades where they're actually available to do those kinds of things. They start quizzball, I think, in 5th or 6th grade, or
Right.
6th grade. But they're not offered most of that stuff up until then, you know. Whether they'll choose it or not. But, I mean, I think a lot of them will take it pretty well, and Kyle will. And a lot of them are the same ones that are doing sports. So, I don't know.
Have you talked to the boys that aren't going out to sports and try to encourage them? No, we tell our boys every day, encourage them, invite them, you know, and they aren't interested.
And I don't know, another thing too, when I was in junior high, but this been 30 years, some years ago, we had, I mean, that was our PE grade. We played sports. That was our PE grade. It's probably not like that now, but
Yeah, with an Title 10, you can't do that.
I don't know what the,
And the kids that aren't going out, if you knew them and knew personality, and so the teachers probably do know their personality a lot better, they just don't count the sports personality and sports more. They're more.
I had a boy in my class started to play soccer. He plays in football. It works.
and I know a lot of it's probably kids getting scared, being scared of getting hurt and stuff with all this, hearing about all this concussion stuff and everything else. I know it's declined a lot of places from what I've heard just because of that. But still, I don't think it's that, I mean, I never seen anybody when I played get a concussion, did you?
Well, you probably
I'm sure you probably
concussions
did.
we 2 plays later, you were back out on the field. Concussion protocol 25, 30 years ago wasn't what it is today. I mean, I guess I'll talk. I'm for the co-op, not only junior high but high school. I 2 years ago, Courtney was a senior, only senior girl. They couldn't win a single basketball. They played their hearts out. 9 girls played their hearts out. 9 girls is not enough. 10 girls is not enough.
Have you talked to the other town that you're
Yes.
telling us that maybe they should go to their school board?
I know there's a lot of back and forth. I hear different things from different sides. That's why I came tonight. I don't.
Yeah, we want to know what.
We have,
offered or whatever.
we have offered.
I know, but what is the,
I feel like it was fairly fair for what we had.
fairly fair or fair?
It was fair.
I mean,
Well, what was it?
Well,
So
they
we
printed a
don't know.
letter in the newspaper. Is that the one?
They printed something. I think the bad thing is that both sides aren't getting the full story from their side, or, from both sides. You're getting one from their side, they're coming in this way, and then they'll come in. We went to a meeting, we as a board decided, this is, we're offering this to them, we brought it out to them. They just, no negotiation after that. That was the end of it. We were willing to negotiate, but they didn't, so I don't know what, there's negotiations that should be done a little bit.
well, I'm just saying from my perspective of it, to watch kids and to see our football team has got some continuity right now. They're playing well. These boys are playing very well. Luke's doing an awesome job as far as coaching them, keeping the morale up. I've been to every game, and you can see the progression in the boys and how they're playing. From the first game against Cody Kilgore to Saturday night's game against Maywood, their confidence level is higher. Their sports will do that for kids. But also, you also have to have the numbers. I mean, we have 13 boys or 14 boys out for football, which is enough for a 6-man team. And next year we're going to have a lot more because of the 8th grade class. That's a big class. But to hear this, 4th, 5th, 6th grade, we're starting to lose kids. In my opinion, I want to do what's best for the kids. I don't want to see my boy go through what my daughter went through.
When we went over there, we offered them, we wanted all sports combined. We wanted boys and girls. They just wanted boys.
Their girls felt that they would lose playing time if they came to play with our girls and their girls wanted their sports separate from our girls. They just want.
And so that was our thing. We want all or nothing.
I agree
And that
totally.
was, and we walked away from there and they said, well, how about this coach? We said, we're welcome to using your coaches. Whatever would work that way. But I felt as a parent watching, if you have boys and girls, they should be combined. You shouldn't divide them.
No, I
And they
agree.
wanted them divided. They wanted to.
I agree.
boys-
I look at it from the standpoint of, I've refed some games last year and boys, young boys, Cooper's age, freshmen, if you can set 6 boys in basketball for your varsity game, but yet you still have enough numbers that you can play 4 quarters of basketball, JV basketball. Every game we go to, minus the tournaments, is have JV games. You get them boys more time, more confidence. 3 years ago, when Tyrus, Josh's boy, we had 3 freshmen starting because of the numbers that we've
Well, I
had.
understand that, and that's what we said, but I felt as a parent, we take them all, we take, I just felt like that's not fair, and that just wasn't what they,
That was a team decision.
And one thing to remember, but we presented as a board to McPherson County was way more than anybody else was offering them, and they rejected our offer. So I think we're more than fair.
And, we talked to them and got their enrollment, and you realize that in their bottom 3 grades, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and third grade, they totally have 12 students in those grades combined. They have 3 kids in each of those classes. So, we're looking to the future, and they're not that much help looking in the future either. In immediate future, they've got some, but their lower classes have hardly any enrollment.
but I mean, you
But
can't give it.
do our lower classes have good enrollment?
We have.
I mean, I think the kindergarten.
Kindergarten has 15.
I've got the numbers here. You've got a
She's
paper.
got
I've
it.
got it. The only class that's really low is second grade, they only have 5, but we have 15, 12, 5, 11, 12.
I think they did.
Yeah, and I mean, as a parent, if I had kids in there, and I understand they have the numbers that they can play their volleyball, they could play their girls' sports, but I feel like if we're gonna combine, you combine everything. And that wasn't, and then they came to us just recently wanting to combine wrestling after the deadline. I mean,
Well, I know
you
that,
can't just react, you gotta be proactive on some of your stuff.
And that's the thing, and I guess that's the base thing, we told them it's all or none, because that's what we thought. If you're gonna do it, it needs to be all your students supporting each other, not the girls and boys separate. And they didn't want to do that.
As of this last week, I believe they have forfeited the boys' basketball program. But they do have the girls. Well, what does that do to those other schools that they forfeited that? It's really blanked them off, and so that's why we felt if we're gonna make anything work again, it had to be everything. And as a parent, and especially one that's played whatever sport it is, football or basketball or wrestling, if you can't tell talent when it's out on the floor, whether you've got 5 kids total or 20 kids total, when a coach picks his top 5, that should be who gets a lot of the playing time. And then what really makes them good is that second 5 pushing them on the bench, or maybe even that 12th, 11th, or even 13th player pushing to try to get some playing time. And we could have had those kind of numbers if we were all together a year ago, even let alone this year. And we would have met the deadlines a year ago. We would have met the deadlines this last spring and summer when we started this negotiations again, and it went south.
The last time we talked to them about sports, then the wrestling was the last two. And I personally feel that if you're gonna combine like you guys want to, bring up definitely, why do you handicap them? So we need more on that. I can honestly tell you, the last year we talked to them about the rehab. They went from our office to going to things that they have no sitting coach, no games at all, and all the practice is open in.
I mean, we were willing to work with them.
And then the other thing that I'm personally upset about is every time we get approached by it, it's always last minute deadline next week, we gotta have special meetings to do this. And that's what keeps getting thrown at us. And I guarantee if you ask any one of us, we could tell you the last thing we offered and all that stuff. And a lot of it gets misdistributed when you see it on Facebook. I don't comment on any other stuff because a lot of it is all filtered out.
What was in the paper, ended in the paper, and I don't know whose fault it was, but that was not the one that, what we went to. That was an old one that had been, that was 2-3 years ago.
The biggest.
We
deal,
wanted
you know,
them to just keep it simple. We said to get us started again, so we want all the support. But keep everything simple, none of this, we just about get to the point, well, if we did this. Or we can go ahead and do this, but we've got to throw, we want to throw this in. And that's what got us in trouble in the first place, when we were together in the first place, was changing the rules as we went. You know. And it was just one or two persons that were changing the rules. It should have been a committee to change those rules. You know, and then pretty soon you forgot what you started with. And we was trying to just keep it so simple that most of us could remember what was said and what was done. And we did say, this can be changed down the road. We've got 3 members here, and I think they had 3 members on negotiation group, and you know, and they come away, our negotiation group come away very disappointed, and they really didn't even give them an alternative, you know. They wanted, and to be honest, they just kept wanting to run the show. We had the most kids, and we did use that as a little leverage, I'll be honest. It's mainly because of the transportation. But they wanted more and more over there and not here. No, and we felt that with the number of kids at the time, it should be, but we did tell them that can be negotiable as we want.
Originally,
You know.
we would let them have some of the games there, because we didn't feel like they should get none of the games. But the other team that they were playing had to agree to have it there, because I know Bedford has had some of the places that they're going, if they refuse to play in the gym, they said, we will play you, but you have to come there. So we said that, you know, you will have to find, if we would like you to have some games there, but you have to get the other team to agree to play in your gym because of the safety problem. But they were adamant that they have all the volleyball games there, and we did not think that that was where we should be going. We offered to let them have a couple of the basketball games there also, because, you know, they need to be able to keep their gym, and they have to keep some games there to be able to keep their gym. We told them that for the 2-year contract that we have with current football, we would like to play as Broncos here, and like there we could play as Longhorns. And then if it worked after 2 years, then we could talk about changing the name and the mascot. But we thought we should at least get the program put together before we went that far, because that's a lot of money to change all the things in the gyms and change the uniforms. And so we were just trying to keep it simple to get it started, but they weren't interested. They just were not on it. Get what it would take to get it going.
So back to the junior high question. Next year, maybe we don't have enough. What are the options? Is to forfeit and not have a season, that one season, or is it not being a bumper? 6th grader up to play this game.
In the past, we have brought up the 6th graders to fill the team.
Is that an option anymore?
I don't think so. I don't think,
they
you
took
can't
that
play
away.
up like that.
They do in ours around.
I know
Do they
schools
still
do,
do?
but I think
For
we
junior
can.
high?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know for junior high, but not high school.
Right.
right, oh, yeah, right.
So, you know, and about Fred Sports, I don't have a problem with asking some of the 6th grade boys to pick up.
Well, I know there's a lot of difference between 6th and 8th grade boys.
Yeah.
We gotta play 6th grade boys, they're gonna get hurt.
And I don't think there was any question, we were willing to work with
So if we can't make a team here, can we still go to school here and go play for somebody else?
In junior
Huh?
high.
I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
don't know the
I don't know. I don't know.
What
Well,
happened?
Tryon did.
But-
They went to school there and come here. So why couldn't we do that?
You have to do it at your school has to agree to do it at. In junior high, I didn't know, junior high's not a.
Yeah, junior high, we don't have to apply for a co-op or
They
anything.
don't have
so
to,
I don't
yeah,
know.
junior high's a whole different thing, that would be.
I think you can talk to the state and apply for it.
Is there any other options that's been bounced around? I mean, I know we've tried with the co-op and, yeah, it's kind of back and forth, but what about advertising for more option kids that maybe would, like the sports and everything, but you look at the trend, and if you're losing your sport programs, you're losing students. And you don't wanna lose students either, and so advertising to get more option kids that maybe would play sports and know that they're gonna get a lot of playtime because we don't have a lot of numbers.
I think that
Maybe
is,
you have to do
and
that.
I haven't been here that long, so I don't know exactly, but Mrs. Walker had, said that most of our kids that opt in later, so they've all started kind of low and then they've gotten more and more for that.
On a positive note, we did have, a couple weeks ago, we had a family from North Platte come. They have a sixth grader and a third grader. They're both boys. They just did not next year want to have them in the middle school over there. So they were only going to send the sixth grader, that would be a seventh grader next year, wanted to play sports. And it just happened that they wanted a tour of the place, and Lacey was available, which was the perfect person to send them on the tour with, because when they got back, they said that they were probably going to send their third grader, that would be a fourth grader next year, so they have her as a teacher. And I asked them how they came to choose, how it came about that they decided to come to Stapleton. And we don't have their paperwork yet, but they were pretty positive. And they said that they work with somebody that is from here, and they were really promoting the school. Plus, they've seen our test grades and all the awards we've been getting and that. So that's an avenue also, is, hopefully we could get some more of those that don't want to go out or have their kids go to the middle school.
We set a parents talking every weekend on the sixth grade. I think it'd be 17.
We
And
can
what
get
that
the
parent's
school-
looking for is discipline. Which we provide.
It was sure a nice Saturday night to see the crowd down on you, told it was a great thing down there. See the people here. And have that feeling, I don't know, you, Jason knows what I'm talking about, you just have that feeling, I wasn't playing football once. It was really great, so, I'm hoping that something can work out, and if you guys have any good ideas that can help pressure somebody who was long as kids.
Is there a place where I could find an original draft of the proposal so that I know what was presented? First question for that. Second question, would it be all right if I have your blessing, if I put together a committee between Stapleton, a few Stapleton parents and a few McPherson County parents? We draw something up, propose it to both boards that's agreeable to the community, and then present it to the schools. Would that be all right? We just, the negotiations and stuff like that we would do for you. All we would do is say, this is what's agreeable to the parents in Stapleton, this is what's agreeable to the parents in McPherson County, and then let you vote on it, basically.
We will have to discuss that in the, when it comes up to the.
Okay.
I have something, and this is just a question. We're talking about the boys football team. The boys are doing great right now. What's the looking forward? Cooper, and I'm going to be selfish. I'll use Cooper. He's a freshman. Next year he'll be a sophomore. That'll be the final year of the contract. Has there been any talks of years for his senior year? I know I've had several conversations with Coach Connell about it, and he's worried about it. He is truly worried. He's got these boys, he's got a young team, and he's looking forward to his senior year. But has the board gone? Have we, as the board, started even looking to that scenario of when this current contract runs out? Have you guys even started to address that?
Not as a board, I think each individual really had a gut feeling on this and agreed about it. We haven't as a board discussed it. All I get is the rumors from the west that they want out.
Well, see that,
That's only rumors.
right. See, I've talked to the parents. I mean, I talked to the parents over there, and the parents, you know, and I agree with Cayman here. I think the parents are behind this, and the school boards are, and please don't take this the wrong way. I'm not trying to degrade him. I think the school boards are trying to shuffle around. Parents are worried about the kids. I don't want Cooper. I don't want any of our Stapleton kids. I don't want the Tryon kids. I feel terrible for the 5 boys that they have that are going to miss a season of basketball this year because we can't figure out this co-op. It's not, and when I was on the Ag Society, my biggest concern was what can we do for the kids? The Ag Society that's what it's for. That's what, and as a school board, I understand there's more to a school board than there is an Ag Society. I'm not trying to compare and say that they're different, and I know that you guys are trying, but I think that for me, I want the co-op as a parent, not only for Cooper, but for all the kids in the community. I believe I'm probably the parent that I want him to compete. If he's not good enough and he needs to ride the bench, then ride the bench. Play JV. But I want to have 4 quarters of JV basketball so that way he can have time. And Mr. Gaffney is very correct in that students with natural talent and natural athletic ability, you can see that. You can see it. But you can also build kids that way. You can also give them the playing time, and you can also teach them basic fundamentals of basketball or football or track or golf or wrestling, and you can build them into better athletes, better human beings. And I think that without the numbers, we just can't do it.
I agree with him, just what you said, but you gotta look at what he started out with. You know, they gave up a season, which they could have had a season for their basketball, but they're gonna let whatever, it doesn't matter what there is, they're gonna let that get in the way of their own kids' success. And I'm sorry, that's just wrong. If I was over there as a parent, I'd be taking a recall out on some people because of not thinking about the students first. They were willing to give up the whole season, and one is a board member, and I just can't imagine that. I just can't.
In their minutes, they voted against co-oping because 2 people addressed the board. You read it, I read it in their minutes. So, we've got more people here tonight than what they had to show. I think if you would come to us and we're willing to work with anybody to do what you want us to do. Rich was at that board meeting that we were at over in Arnold, or over in Tryon. I walked up to Rich and I said, what do you want us to do? And he's, I talked to him, whoever was there. We wanted to do what you wanted us to do. But then we went in, we discussed it, we came out, and, you can only go so often if they're not gonna even try to go with you. But two people telling you that they don't want to co-op, where were the rest of the people telling you that they wanted to? Your football players, parent. I don't know.
Then they really didn't let the 1 or 2 sets of parents know what the timeline was co-op for wrestling. We probably would have made an exception for that one student who really wanted to come here, but it was way past the deadline. There's deadlines you have to meet with the state of Nebraska, NSAA, to qualify. And if we're going to do anything for football when your son is a junior, that decision has to be made quick.
Yeah, that's what I mean, that's where I'm at. That's why I came to the board. I understand that there's deadlines, and I respect that. That's fine. This stuff needs to be addressed, and I guess that's why I'm here tonight, to bring it up, to ask where we're at, because I do worry about next year. You know what? I'm excited for next year's football season. We're going to have a great team between the two schools. It's already settled. We're going to have a great team, and I see a lot of potential. We could win a lot of games next year because the boys are young, but they're all willing and they've bought into Luke's system, and he has them right now, and they're playing hard for him. Saturday night is very much proof of it. Saturday night from it's night and day difference what Luke has done. I like I want something to be done because I would like to see him play.
And I'm not shut, well, I am shutting you down.
That's fine. I've said enough.
When are their board meetings?
Theirs is the second Thursday of it. Three of it.
Yeah, they would have had theirs last Thursday.
Anybody else got something to say on this topic? We will discuss it amongst ourselves later on in the agenda. Anybody else got anything to throw in there? We will discuss your idea.
I guess, final input. But, no, you guys are doing it. But, it's also a reminder of how much it can be improved. I'm all about the community, I don't have to get involved, but, well, it can be also help the community. And in fact, we lost one child here. And it goes east now, and I see, her vehicle getting gas, getting gas, so that's just income that's taken away from our community. Something. So if we could get a co-op, such a time, I think that much more.
Thank you. I hear another vote. Okay.
I, as your superintendent, want to thank you for coming forward, and you've got friends over there, school-age kids, do some visiting. I think that's, like along the line of Mr. Daly, but, get them fired up like some of you are here, and maybe something can get accomplished.
Thanks for all your input, guys, and I think that you'll find every one of these board members here are passionate about it and want to do something. So we feel like we must go run against that cement wall over there. That's all we do it. I feel like right now, I hope there's something that's done, and I think it's gotta come from you guys, cause it seems like we're just between the boards right at the moment. It's not working. And I thought we was pretty fair. So we got a little less fair, maybe as every time that we come with something, and we went to them, and it just, yep, we're right back at it. Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I've talked to them, and this is the proposal that I've kind of come up with. You take a line and McPherson Logan County line, and you draw an imaginary line to the south, to the state line, and you draw an imaginary line to the north. Have we even offered a game system where the game's played from the west? And I understand their facilities are subpar up there as far as their gym. Have we offered them just to draw a line in the sand and say the team's coming from the west?
We got the football games we did get. If that's telling you anything, we weren't gonna get any.
I've always thought,
But-
along that same line.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was offered.
That was
Discussed between the two committees.
Mrs. Opal pointed out that if the schools from the west wanted to play in that facility, they would be given that option.
right. I mean, I understand that philosophy of it. That gym is very small, and I understand the safety concerns. I'm not opposed to it, but I think if it's up to the the visiting team, if they're from the west, if they don't want to play there, then drive to Stapleton and play the game here. They should have an input. I firmly believe it, but I didn't know if that was ever really offered. Sorry for interrupting.
Okay, we're gonna move on now, guys, and not because we don't care about your topic, because we do. Okay. Okay. Whole business, approval of the prior minutes. Do I have a motion to do that?
Next motion approves the minutes from the 17th and 24th of September.
Any questions or changes? Kim?
Yes.
Frank? Yes. Josh? Yes. Christie?
Yes.
Rex? Yes. Yes. Christie, you did the claims.
Make a motion to approve the claims as presented.
Do I get a second for that?
I'll second.
Any questions or changes? Okay, Christie?
Yes.
Rex?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Frank?
Yes.
Josh? Yes. You have treasurer's Gaffney?
Yeah, you've got paperwork there in front of you. We made a few changes though, but we'll get to that here in just, let's go with the treasurer's report. Got your general, where we stand, from September to October and where we stood a year ago, comparison. Receipts, Logan County, little under where they were a year ago, with Lincoln and McPherson taxes coming in compared to where we were this time last year, but not by much. Okay, so people are being pretty good about trying to get things scaled up. And you got your special building, where we stand at that point. Like a year ago, we've been able to build on that. Appreciation, a little under total, look at where we were, we've done some improving, as you recall. And the quality cap remains the same. Employees benefits, hot lunch, and activity. Any questions on any of that? Okay, on the back side, we've got just about all of the money that we can possibly put into an interest-bearing account that we're not necessarily using on a day-to-day basis. It is under those particular CD numbers. And those CDs are presently drawing you 1.45 compared to 0.03 and 0.05 passed, and then you just have all your money put where it needs to put, as I said. And so, you've got these CDs, you can go up to 250 grand. We cannot add to that, but the interest that'll generate every month, that CD money will go into.
Back into
Yeah. And, those CDs that are under 250, that'll be added right to that particular account on the monthly. Now, we're also allowed to take one withdrawal out of each one of those CD accounts without a penalty any 1 month of the year. All 12 months, but one time, we can take money out without doing any sort of penalty. And it could be up to about all. And that's what was nice about this particular account that we decided to and with the experience our business manager has, we can make it work.
Questions or comments?
The activity funds, most everything is in the black. We have, concessions fund balance. We're, kind of behind the eight ball, but we bought a lot of, stuff to put back, so to speak. And, the last couple, concession stands probably haven't been included, so it would be a lot less than that at this point. The trophy case fund, we'll be able to, eliminate that, I think, in next month's.
What's the negative balance in that? They bought some decorations for homecoming, but they were the ones that had the concession Saturday night, so.
Okay, any more discussions on that? All right. We'll move on to our community liaison.
All right, on September 27th, I attended the Stapleton Chamber meeting. We're planning a trunk or treat event downtown on Halloween from 4:15 to 6:15. And their thought process is the kids are already going to be in their Halloween costumes, so they don't have to get out of them and back in them. They can just head downtown. So there'll be anybody that wants to set up a trunk downtown, the kids can come down there and trick or treat from the back of the pickup or whatever SUV or whatever you have. And then the grocery store is also going to be having a special that day, cookie hot dogs. So there are contests set up. There's going to be costume contests that the chamber is donating money to. And then also there's a contest for your trunk, so the best decorated trunk. Also, the chamber is working on a junior chamber member program. So Mrs. Burke and Mrs. Welcome talked to the students from their classes and the business classes and the FFA type classes to encourage the students to join this program and to apply for it. I received a couple of applications thus far. Students have until October 24th to submit their application. Our fall family event will be in partnership with the One at Supper, the night of November 15th. We are still getting the details on what time that evening, but there will be more information out soon. The Stapleton Public Schools Foundation Board met on October 3rd, and the board voted to grant $2,500 towards the senior composite project. So, and then, as always, I work with the newspaper, share news with Jenny to add to the website and post information on Facebook on activities happening at school on the invitation.
Okay, thank you. Activities director.
Mine's not quite specific. Well, we heard about football. They are seeing some wins, which is a good thing. They traveled to Hildreth this week for their final football game, and then volleyball team has just a couple more left before the district takes place, and then junior high has been doing really well. The football team went 4-0 this year with their conference, and then the volleyball team actually won.
Okay,
If I can add on to that, we do try to keep adding those things to our Facebook because I think other people are successes that can draw more people.
I talked to Jenny and saying,
thank you. So, any board committee reports that we haven't discussed?
I think we've been pretty well covered.
sports? Anything we want to add or subtract, Kamen's idea, I don't know. Do we have we should have a written, what we, that last one, someplace here, don't we? Just make sure that it is the correct one.
Have all those.
I don't
We-
have the one that.
I guess I wanted to, I'm kind of wary on having somebody, I mean, I would like to see this and then have it presented. Not maybe make you a committee that's going to be doing it, because that's why we are here, is to kind of oversee some of that stuff. I mean, I could kind of see your point of what the parents would like, but it still has to be.
My biggest thing is we talked to the state about how to go about a co-op, and it was recommended to us that we create a co-op committee that included board members from both sides, and that's what we did. So, and they've been together numerous times,
Who's on the co-op?
and hopefully they're, we don't know if they're taking their parents' advice or even into consideration for this board has with you guys.
The committee was Frank and me and Josh.
And from Triumph.
How's the election affect that over there? I mean, we're gonna obviously,
Well, that's what go on.
he's going off to Henry up, and Josh. But, one thing I'd like to speak out about, back when I had a son that, they needed, I don't know if it was even affected him, but we needed more to practice with in junior high. And I fought for the sixth grade coming up. Yeah, there's a little bit of difference there as far as age, but one, it gives them maturity going in. You guys are they're already playing a lot of the time. Anyway, for practice, I pushed hard to get that to go, to the fact that sixth grade gets in there, and plus, if you have more people to practice against, that automatically makes you better. If you don't have enough to practice with, you're behind the 8 ball anyway. So I think it's something we can easily consider so we have a program to continue on. I do not want to see anybody go anyplace else. We've had that happen, and it doesn't help us out at all. So,
I guess I don't have a problem with the parents getting together and coming up with ideas and presenting it to both boards, but then the board committees will have to go together. But I think if the parents can come up with a good plan and the boards then can get together as our committees and work on it, I'm all for it. Because I think, it never hurts to try some different ideas in my opinion.
Just a quick question. Do you guys still have that committee? Do you guys still have a meeting committee? Could you take some parents from both sides? I mean, I know some parents from Tryon that would, if they knew when the two schools were, I'm pretty sure I could get a couple parents to show up that are for the co-op.
Well, I think
From that side, I'm pretty sure there's a couple.
I think what that needs to happen is at the board meeting when the whole board is discussing it. That's why the committees go together, try to get it so that it goes to the boards, and that's when the public needs to come to the actual board meeting and say, hey, this is what we want you to do. Because that's what the problem we had before. It's like, this what last thing we sent to them, only 2 people showed up to oppose or support it, and nobody showed up to support it, so they said no. That's the problem we're having this time. Not enough, like, you people coming. That's what we all need, is people to come to the board meeting. So I guess maybe we need, I support Kamen's idea, because I think we need.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I support an idea for ideas to come to you, but it needs to be, a board decision, what they do.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Obviously, the board has to vote on this, decide on your own.
But I mean, I think we've talked some of this to death. We've had these group meetings where they've come, we went to the music room and talked about it. And then it gets there, and we'll send something to them, they come back to us, with something just way off the wall, what we sent to them. And I just think it needs to go to individual boards and then kind of you guys work together and then after, and then maybe. I think when we have these discussions like this, the same thing.
Together, an action committee together to take it to both boards. And those committee members from both are at both board meetings and present the same thing. I'm for it. 'Cause I guess, and maybe we've probably got a little burnt out.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just. it's
The
like
passion
everyone's
is
just-
still there, so we kinda got burned out.
You guys
No.
had that one in the music room, I mean, there was an
There was lots of-
overwhelming turnout for that, because it was well advertised that there was gonna be a meeting, and a lot of that's our fault, because, you know, we get busy, we don't look at the calendar, so it's gonna be on the agenda or whatever, but, I mean, that time it was well advertised that there was gonna be a co-op meeting, everybody come, and everybody did come, there was a ton of people there, and it was great, I mean, but I know what you're saying, it's back and forth.
But
back and
I'm
forth, and-
disappointed when they let two people speak and it's like, well,
Right.
we're done, you know, we're gonna go somewhere else.
Right.
I mean, these guys, all of us have put in a lot of hours into it to have that, you know, happen.
Right.
So it just gets to the point, if you're negotiating with something, you're gonna have to cut them off.
You know, and the thing you gotta keep in mind is, if we're gonna do something, we've got to get on it now, because the deadlines are coming up, and we've got to be able to, if we're gonna work it out, we've got to get on it now.
June first, is that correct? Is that what you
Yeah,
said,
that's-
Mr. Gaffney?
That's the latest.
Okay,
Yeah, that's,
that's the deadline.
Mhm.
All right.
and then they'll come to us the week before. Say, oh, we wanna do this. We get phone calls, you
You
know.
were on the committee, Frank, Josh, did you for it?
Before? Under the right circumstances, yes.
It depends on the term.
I'm for it if we can get it worked out. I mean, I don't think
Well,
any of us
that's what I
are
wanna
dead set
know,
against it.
you know, are we taking our committees and representing?
Okay,
Just
if
like
I could throw this comment in and might deviate things here a little. I visited Dr. Tennifer, who just retired off the NSA CEO. We've known each other for years and got respect for each other. I said, Doctor, I said, what are the rules for a sports co-op? He said, Howard, there is none. You need to be fair. You don't have to be equal. And what I mean by that is, sometimes there's facilities that are not equal with each other, or do you have numbers that are equal? The fair has to be worked out between the two. When you put one of these together, there's a lot of hidden expenses. Both communities have been through those expenses before. They can get monstrous, major budgetary items. And so when you're changing uniforms and changing logos and just the padding on the walls that might say whatever the team logo would be if you got together. And I think probably what affected a little bit of what some of our conversations were in the past, we wanted to start out like we mentioned, let's see if this is gonna work for us.
And transportation, you know,
That's
but
the other
one
one.
school can hold the kids in a van, and the other school has to drive a big bus. We need to really discuss, you know, what's kind of equal, you know, and those kinds of things, that has to be discussed also. That's an expense deal, that, you know.
We've looked at multiple sides, and I hear what you guys are saying, and I don't oppose it. I mean, I've said to the other peers on there that I've been trying not to answer, put somewhere else, for all the options. We've honestly made it as simple as come over and play. We'll pay for everything. We'll work it out later. We're still here. We've had numerous meetings. I know, like, on Red, he was at the one meeting, that's a community deal. I was proud of our board. I mean, the way negotiations work is you propose something. They kick it back, either accept it or change it or whatever. But like Crystal said, when we send them something, we've had more extra meetings dealing with this thing than I have with anything else dealing with the board. And we sit down and come together. We might not all be happy when it's all said and done, but we come together, we put something in black and white, and it gets to the proper channel. 90% of the time when it comes back, it's not even close, and then we even agree on it.
Okay.
Let's hear from you next board meeting. If not before.
Yeah, but we need to get on it.
We gotta find out if their board's on board with that too.
Well,
Why not
Waste
one of
your
their
time
parents
this
are?
one.
Well, I understand, I understand.
I think we're gonna get
We
a
can
copy.
find some stuff that we've had.
Yeah, proposal, okay.
All right. Move on to, thank you guys for all your input, in case you haven't decided. All right, action item, discuss and take appropriate action on purchase of the school board. Purchase, wear it out on the.
Okay, I sent you that email concerning what, that grant that we got at $40-some-thousand towards a new bus from the Volkswagen Clean Energy grant. I think we've got through February to act on that or lose it. That doesn't mean we can't reapply for another year down the road. And there's a good chance that we would be looked at again. But the money that we would maybe give up and what we were granted would be put back in the big pot to be disseminated down the road. Would it be the same amount next year or more? All depends on how many we possibly try to apply to that grant. The problem we have is that we're locked into a certain size rather than be able to go much bigger than what we possibly talked about. I think 33 passenger bus is what that grant would be set up.
That's the largest we go.
And that's,
What is the Redlow one?
mhm.
It's a little smaller if we wanted to replace that one. Smaller. Well, not smaller than 17, but smaller than 33. Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, it could be something.
In between.
So if you use it by February, you can still apply for another one.
Even if we use that, we can still apply
Right.
for another.
It doesn't have to be spent by February or,
That's how I.
Well, we don't want to be foolish and not take advantage of it.
And
Let it slip away.
he's got a bus here, he's got a chassis earmarked for us. He did that 2 months ago. If we want to go with it, we could possibly have it here sometime in January. If not, it might be really some.
Number 5 to 28. You can't get 20.
You can't get that many.
Third less. Is this something that the transportation committee needs to look at?
I think we need to get serious with it.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
We can have a, and I'll tell you what we'll do, we're not necessarily locked in with that particular company. We can take that grant and go anywhere we can find, but it's set up for that size facility.
I was gonna say the same thing. We got the bids from Bluebird. Let's go ahead and get some bids from the the other two maybe want to. We need to take advantage of that. That's just too good of a deal to pass up.
Well, I personally think so. And, state also has, a bid opening here shortly, so you want to give it, put some money out to school districts that are, you know, look at that as, give it a bus as well.
Well, no, it could be gas.
Yeah.
At that size, yeah.
Propane or diesel.
We can't be gas,
Gas?
right?
That's how you take it. That's what I'm.
Yeah.
Propane and diesel.
Okay, so do we have a motion to table this until Mr. Gaffney has bid and went, met with the transportation committee and they pretty well come up with a plan?
We'll just be positive we're stuck, we want diesel, right?
Believe it or not, that bus is cheaper than the
Do I have a motion to table this?
I'll make that one.
Have a second? Any more discussion? Rex?
Yes.
Christie?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Frank?
Yes.
Yes. Discuss and take appropriate action on increase for bus drivers' pay.
Okay, I sent you some information out, you've got it in the packet. And, doing some visiting with other superintendents. Really, we're not too far out of the ballgame with what we presently probably give. That doesn't mean, and I'd like to think most of my drivers are happy now. But our problem is any relief drivers. Somebody gets sick, or somebody has a funeral they need to get to, it really puts us in a bind. And so, and then some of our routes, aren't quite as long as others. And so a couple of my drivers, put in a little more time, even though we guarantee a 2.5 hour payment for time rendered, whether it takes an hour and a half or 2 hours or 2.25 hours, you pay for 2.5 at a variable rate there. There's a start rate and there's a top end. And they've already received a 25 cent an hour raise this year. That's the same as what classified got with the raise we proposed here a couple of months ago. But that probably still doesn't put it where I think we might want to place it. I'd like to see $15 to reduce at the top end. And let's add another 20 cents for that 25 we wanted, if not 40. Now, figured into that 2.5 hour guarantee. Maybe be a van driver or a major license.
Plus, that's the new people,
Right now, if you come on as a van driver, you start out at 11. If you come in with a CDL for your, it's at 11.50.
And do we have a maximum?
Right now, the highest one as a CDL driver is making 14.81.
So we do not have a cap.
When I was in a bind here a week ago to find somebody to take the kids to Husker Harvest Day, gentleman out of Maxwell, who's willing to drive, get $15 an hour stick to it. You left home at 4:30 in the morning and got home at 6:15.
So you're talking about the top and 15, but you're talking about having the bottom for the people who are doing the thing.
Well, they're getting a little more, but the one route to North Platte, you've got a lot of kids on there. I realize the road is much more pleasant to drive on than what we have out there in the country. But if you're driving that country road, you're fighting the road, not necessarily fighting any other vehicle congestion you would have on the highway. But that highway run also takes another 15 minutes or so, usually every day, twice a day. And because it's more miles, you're spending more time filling the bus. If you drive it, you gotta fill it as well, and that's part of that 2.5 hours that every once in a while you gotta compensate there. And so,
I was just trying to do this math in my head and it said 1480 to 1460. So I get 50 cents to the bottom.
Yeah,
You're
we'll,
gonna give a 40 cent raise to the top.
we could probably, if we got that up around that $15, you're looking at what, $75 a day? And even though the cents don't sound like much for time, but you put that over a year's time, it's worth more dollars.
No, I'm not arguing that. I was just saying if you're gonna do 50 cents at the bottom, you might as well do 50 cents at the top. The reason they're at the top is because
Well,
they've been here the longest.
well, it would be, but they're already, that first quarter's already put in that.
Saying to start now with CDL getting 11.50. You want to bring that up to 12. Yeah.
I think that would be.
You and hire me for that.
I know that. That's why we have a board to help make this decision. I just gotta manage the money that I've got to work with.
I'm personally thinking we ought to, with the CDL, ought to be starting out at that 15. I know it adds up to a lot of money, but we need to be responsible good drivers.
Good time to advertise. Anybody want to look, get licensed here?
Please.
They have some pretty precious cargo they're hauling.
Right, I'll let you have that one deal that shows what they pay in Los Angeles, to New York City, and, yeah, anywhere from 15 to 19 to $32.
You know, if they're gonna make $100 a day,
With just,
driving a full route.
you're probably at like $62 if you would drive both of them.
You're guaranteed 2.25 or 2.5.
2.5.
What's 75 is at 15.
Okay, I didn't, well, yeah, but we're not all of it.
I mean, if 25 cents goes on, it's off one.
That'd be great.
I wonder why I got out of it.
Go back in.
No. I did it for 10 years.
Well, they've made the testing terrible,
Oh, it was worth it, okay?
right, Josh? It's
Yeah,
hard.
the testing, I mean, it's mental anguish for some of these people to go through those hoops.
Oh, yeah. The state does not help you out in any way, shape, or form. You can do it, right, Judge?
Well, so far.
Well, so far.
You go to take a school bus test and they ask you things about drawbridges and all kinds of things that is not even in the manual.
And we have them all over around here.
Okay.
Now, if you were making 15, you'd get 75 for the $2. Litchfield right now is paying 100.
I mean, that's a premier full-time job. I mean, you can,
Well, the
tell them for bus drivers and that are not working other jobs because they're driving.
That is, you gotta be there early, you gotta be there.
Milking cows.
Like,
Yeah, you used to be able to work
street
there,
workers.
yeah. What we made, with the CDL license, we made 15, and we took the 381 for the, ones that's been here for a while, made it up, so that would make it almost 19. You gotta have some incentive to work out, or it's not done.
Because you can't forget about the ones that are already there.
What would you think of the start at a 15 with the 20 cap?
Negotiable by the year.
Well, you know, because, if you keep giving an increase every year, pretty soon you get somebody that's up there at, way more an hour. So I have heard of a lot of businesses that now are doing cap. We start with this, we give you a raise every year, but when we get to certain levels, it's getting to be, in my industry, it's getting to be really common.
Well, would somebody like that to go with us for a while?
You would think you capped at 20, at
Remember-
least in the ones below them
Remember,
are
you're
catching
speaking
up.
for
to them.
everybody.
That's 25 cents a year per hour. Wow. It's a year on year, or 1 year out. Probably if you get this on the raise, or whoever getting the 1481 would be capped out. All right,
You got a cap on the window.
Nothing else, start them out at 1350 on the, with the CDL. Maybe I think it's a little bit too much, too fast. So. I did it for a lot less. So, it's just to help out, I mean, that's what, it wasn't so much for money. Yes, Josh, you know you want to encourage you to 15. Nope.
and these people are all of the most precious commodity that we produce in this community, those kids. And your teaching's getting a lot better, and yes, it's different, but it isn't different, because those people are responsible for those kids. And I don't think you can pay in this other, as far as I'm concerned about. I was that person that can go a minimum, but it's your minimum wage for the responsibility. I think we need to move it up there, and I really personally don't think that we need to put a cap on it if the board can't control it in the negotiations between the board and the bus drivers. We probably should have this bus drivers and board to negotiations, but I don't think a cap is. That's my personal opinion. Any more arguments, or somebody that's going to step up and make a motion?
I'm gonna say, let's look at 1250 for those van drivers. CDL, 15, plus you would normally have for years of experience, have that on there, so some of them are gonna be making 16 or 17. And, most of the dedication, and the fact that I don't have to wake up in the morning and somebody say, I'm not driving today, I don't think I. Some of these drivers that just go even when they have a tail through because they haven't had somebody else cover them.
I'll make that motion.
How are you making?
1250 for the.
1250 for van, 15 for bus CDL, and then everybody else is moved up equivalent to where they sit on the scale. Meaning, so if we're 1480, what was it? 1481, the difference from where it is now from the starting, there will be the increase for them.
You get that thing real quick. I didn't scratch that out.
Raise the minimum. 10 to 12.
$2 raise. That's a little bit different.
I don't know if I have this right, the $12.50 to $15, and what was the current?
For the additional,
Equivalent to where they said it used to.
yeah. So the experienced drivers would get additional raise on it.
You know, I've talked with everybody that's several years ago. They really didn't ask me. But if you can read a person's eyes, it would be accepted. Okay? And a couple of them are getting close to probably wanting out in the future.
It is. Somebody else is doing it.
We might have to adjust things again once those dedicated ones are there. That was enough, you know.
I have a second for this. Any more questions? When will we take it back? Immediately? At the
Let's-
first of the year?
Let's make it, I think that would work best. Right. We start in June.
Add that onto that motion.
Tax purposes, probably figuring. I think they'd all be appreciative of that.
Greg?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Frank?
Yes.
Christie?
Yes.
Josh?
I'm gonna say,
Yes. Okay, thanks everybody for the discussion. Okay. Discuss and take appropriate action on the AIA contract with Bradley Brandenburg Associates. That's our, architect, group that we're starting on. We're getting ready to, do some work on the firewalls in the hallway, the stairwells. And this guy does it for the hour. And it's not on a percentage basis. I think everybody felt that he's a lot simpler guy to work with, you know. But yet he gave us some suggestions that we've followed through on already. And he didn't charge us a dime for it, and it was things that was gonna cost us down the road. We had a teammate contractor here, you know, just stepped out in front of the school, handicap. And then we put another handicap parking spot up here with concrete on it. Here, so, you know, he's given us hints and that they're both the guys are pretty good to work with. Okay, anybody got anything else to add to that? And do I have a motion to approve it?
I guess, Steve, I did see this on this, where you were talking about the ground floor, the doors from the girls' room and the janitor's room would be moved so that access would be from the hallway instead of entering from the stairwell. Where is that?
That's only if you guys, are here. It's, other work would be second main paragraph on the first page.
What bathroom is he talking about?
Other work could be considered,
Where is that?
the girls' bathroom,
On the basement.
cross.
basement? Now, we gotta fill that in clear down to the basement? No.
No, No, we were told that door, as long as that door was.
That was my question to Howard after I read this, and he did the checking on it. That's if we wanted it done. That door above will be sufficient.
Okay, because that's what I told Steve when he asked me, and so now I know that was supposed to be.
Yeah.
All right.
Not got that one. The attorney looked this over. The only thing he thought we needed to make sure we had liability insurance. Affidavit.
Make that open.
Sorry.
No, you're fine there.
You made the motion, do I have a second?
Also,
Any other discussion? Rex,
Yes.
Josh,
yes,
Christie,
Yes.
Frank, Kim,
Yes,
okay. Discuss and take appropriate action on transferring instructional equipment depreciation money into the building and ground depreciation account. You have an explanation, I remember why we put it in there.
Working with the bank, there was no reason why I had to separate. The business manager can keep everything line item. Because it's different.
how much money are we talking?
58,000 something.
Years ago, they put it into instructional. It's all in depreciation anyway. It's just that when the auditors were here, we've never used that. But we do use the building and ground.
But when we put it in there, we had to have it because we needed more space to go with those funds because they started questioning after so much money. We was getting enough money in the buildings and grounds. The reason we put that in instructional was so that we had a different slot to save that money in. Whether it's needed now, I don't know, because rules change all the time. But that's the reason we put it in there, because we had more money than we could justify. And the state was gonna start taking away state aid if we had it in just the buildings. If we put it in other accounts, then we could save it that way.
You get over 95 cents per levy, you don't have to worry.
Well,
But if
that's
it
where we
comes
was
to
at.
that point, we can roll that right back out or establish those. That's it.
Okay, so do I have a motion on that, or more discussion?
I'm still trying to process why we need to do that. Can't we just put it in a CD on its own? Where it is? I don't understand why we need to. So,
Misty can probably talk better on this than I can, but
But if you have it designated as instructional equipment, then that's, so like, I don't know how much you're having, so depreciation right now.
oh, well, just for the instructional, it's
You
68
get
total.
68,000 of the.
The total amount is.
That's all you're supposed to use.
That's all you can use it for, is
Right.
what instructional
Putting
equipment.
putting it in here
computers
at this point, which we can do.
General for
And
instruction.
you just look, basically, you gotta look at, what do you think you're gonna spend that money on? Do you think you're gonna spend it on a building, doing all this building work, or do you think you're gonna spend it on computers and that? I've never seen you guys buy computers out of depreciation fund, you always buy those out of your general. So there's no reason to have money sitting in a depreciation fund for computers if you're never gonna spend it on. But you do have a building project, you know, ongoing projects that you're looking at.
and
That you
legally we
can use that
can
money
move that
for.
over.
I mean, it's all in one funding, it's all in depreciation, it's just one account that says depreciation, is to be spent on instructional equipment, depreciation is supposed to be spent on buses, and depreciation is supposed to be spent on buildings. And you're supposed to keep that segregated. And every year when you transfer, say 200,000, you always say, this much is going to instructional equipment, this much is going to the bus, how you're supposed to spend it. And you're supposed to be tracking that and spending it according to where you chose that.
So there's no
Easy to
problem with
transfer.
us just saying transferring it.
No, I mean, you're keeping it in the same fund, you're not actually doing anything but a paper swap, so you're gonna move the balance from instructional back to, yeah, that's fine, because you're not really moving any money, you're just,
The balance will still stay the same in that account.
you know,
What-
yeah. Because then if you need that money for the building project, you don't want it to be stuck, you know, sitting there, and then you have to tap into your general fund to do building project stuff.
So what if we burn it all in building and we need 35 computers tomorrow?
You use your general.
We've been buying them, but what if we get short enough we can't? We do have this here tagged for.
It's the same way with whether you need it for building or whether you need it for
Depreciation.
or both. You can come up with the same problem, but more than likely, you're gonna come up with needing the money for depreciation. I
So
don't
if we
think I,
didn't need
in
it
the
for the
20
35
years.
computers, can we switch it back when we're doing anything?
Yeah, you guys can always elect to.
Yeah, you can always roll it back over. And besides, there's been some grant money out there we've been taking advantage of buying those computers that make
Yeah.
necessarily income out of
Yeah, that's
property tax pockets of the school district per se. It's all tax money, but it's that huge pool coming from back in.
still haven't got a motion.
I'll make that one.
Do I have a second? Any more discussion or questions? Rick?
Yes.
Christie?
Yes.
Josh? Yes. Kim?
Yes.
Frank?
Yes.
Yes. Discuss and take appropriate action on disposal of surplus property.
We really don't need that dog van around any longer. An old one, got a pretty good motor in it, transmission's not too bad, but, to put that on the road to go from here to Kearney, interstate speeds, that probably wasn't an option. We wanted to. And it really doesn't have 100,000 miles on it. Looks a little rougher. I think it's probably still has some value. I'd say we try to move it, put that towards the next one that we might want to replace, which is that Ford, probably not some. A Ford would be. I'd also like to, put some of those metal doors that we've taken off the building, throw them surplus. I only need really one more to put on the boiler room door, outside door. I've got the door put in there between the two rooms. Keep the hot water heaters at a better temperature than what they were a year ago. But the rest of those, they might as well be removed for shock doors and the shock doors. They're still very usable. There's some rust at the bottom, of course, but they're good heavy insulated door. Doesn't need something. If we don't get a decent bid, I'll probably go with iron glass. Those are the only two things right now that I consider.
What about the stick over that was back there where the saw was in the shop?
Oh, yeah, it could possibly be put on there as well. You've probably checked it out closer than I have.
Which one? Where it was working at welding shop, so I wasn't looking at it. There was a sensor in the welding shop that they were talking about, that it just had a wheel clip on it, all the way. Might have been.
that old Lincoln brother might do a better job and a little bit of work. And
I don't know, it's just sitting outside
that
Oh,
was news to me. I didn't realize it was taking that long. Check that out. Guess I'll find my flashlight here tonight.
Okay, do we have a motion? Any other discussion? Kim?
Yes.
Josh? Yes. Christie?
Yes.
Frank?
Yes.
Rex? Yes. Yes.
I'll get the door sizes and whatnot and get that on Facebook and our website and the newspaper. That'll be more advertising. Already had a couple people.
Okay, do you have a report?
Uh, no, not at this point. Okay, you all got my write-up, in lieu of the time, is there any questions over anything I have there? We've got dates set for, negotiations that happen tonight. I wrote this before the teacher said they wanted to meet tonight, rather than come up with another great performance out of the field, to a couple birds with one stone tonight. That's what anybody reconsider going to NASB state convention, conference there in La Vista? Probably need to get you taken care of here right away, and I think Christie wants to go, so we'll get her taken care of tomorrow. And the rest of you finish your mind, or think you're gonna be done picking corn by the middle of November, here's your chance.
Remember,
Josh,
Chris, you
here's your
got
last
there
chance.
for this delegate.
I'll make sure my phone sends the yes to do that.
The youth science fair, I got a nice card from the sophomore class. They said, thanks, Mr. Gaffney, for reconsidering and taking us to that venture there at the experimental station south of North Platte. Plus it cost me ice cream afterwards too, but out of my own bill. But anyway, they were a good group of kids. They were a good group of kids, and I learned from that experience as well that day. I thought I knew it all, and some of you can probably contest it. You might think that. Anyway, parent teachers, I thought went over pretty well, considering we had a pretty nice turnout. Mr. Venus got to shut the lights out when he left. I thought maybe I talked a lot, but he can use it. Revision conference that we had, and I think I've tried to explain to you what we're doing there to enhance our career pathways for young people. May not be looking at a 4-year college or a university, but maybe a 2-year or maybe 3-year with some skills necessary to get themselves a good job right out of high school. That program is, I think, yeah, I'm going to attend the ALICAP meeting. They have the first day of the conference back there and represent our small school with whatever information may be coming up. You got your ALICAP October risk alert. Teachers are also provided with some of this material as well. Mrs. Walker, I don't know whether she got you anything with an email today. Dismissed from the hospital, I think, this afternoon. What she's gone through here the last few days is altogether different than some of the issues that she's had earlier. But we didn't know for sure whether she could be here tomorrow or not. But she's already planning to be out of the building these Wednesday, Thursday, for a different procedure. But, the lady gets a lot of work done for the hospital bed or your home, when necessary. We're pretty well caught up with any reports that we need to get into the state to be timely. Thanks for putting the time in place. I've had some nice support from our athletic director, activities director, or whatever you want to call it, that who takes care of any voids we may have when Mrs. Walker can't be there. I really appreciate that. She's been excellent to work with. What I really like about her, she takes no crap from anybody, unless you absolutely have to come. And so, you can hold her home with the best of her. We proved that the other night before I got to the situation. And it was extremely, doing a good job.
Okay. Is there anything on our agenda?
So I wrote it down.
We did.
There we go, yep. Four of us went to the area membership meeting in North Platte. I was here early, so I asked Steve, should we give a little talk on what we did, and neither one of us brought our papers, so I asked Kim, she didn't bring her paper either. We had to Google some of it, but, we have there's a new legislative advocate for the NASB, his name is Colby Cash or Coach, something like that. He's executive director and director of government relations advocate. He said he went to the Gallup Turning Talents into Strengths, and I went to the Protecting Our Precious Assets from Bell to Bell, which is the alley cap, and they gave some very interesting information out. One of the things was on suicide, and they have a 20-some page letter that you could go online and get. And it was very, so that the superintendents or anybody doesn't give out any more information than they're supposed to. I mean, it was something that she recommended that we print out. I didn't know what I was getting into when I went to that, but it was legal stuff and just different things that from our point of view that we shouldn't take probably, like playground equipment from churches if they don't know who the maker was, who got it, or you know where they got it from, because a kid had broken his leg pretty severely and they couldn't figure out where it came from, and the church had given it to the school, and the school was liable for it. And it was pretty hefty. But that was, I mean, some of it was just off. I never would have thought about it. A gal broke her leg walking on a sports track because they only had half of it lighted. She walked around with half that wasn't lighted and broke her leg down that way, and that ended up costing them because they should have had the whole thing lighted. So those were a couple that I went to. Kim, you said you went to you guys went to two different ones.
Actually, went to one the same.
You're both the
Oh,
same,
that's
but
right.
they were different.
That's right.
than
You were
what
there and I
Steve
didn't see it.
He ignored me at the first one. One of the things that they talked about was, I felt feeling neglectful as a board member, because they asked everybody that was there if they knew what the graduation rate is, one lady. And I was embarrassed that I did not know. So I think that's something that is our goal here.
And Steve received the.
And he got an award.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
supposed to bring his cup.
Where's your cup?
Uh-oh, that's.
We all forgot our
it's
notes
probably
and
with
our,
his papers.
his,
He
yes.
received the cup, and he was supposed to bring that to every meeting now. For what, fourth level?
Fourth level, yeah.
Fourth.
Got a ways to go to get to where the top of them are. 32 years of being.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
There was one guy there that had been a board member, that's how long you've been a board member, one guy had been a board member. 5.
They is getting kind of thin, time to get to where I am, but
They had them sit down, how long they've been there, you know. But it was, I mean, some of it was pretty interesting, and they did talk, one of the keynote speakers was talking on our property taxes and where all they went. How we were, you know, the different states.
And the cost to educate students.
Yeah, that was.
We should really be proud of where we are, as far as that goes.
and it's a membership meeting, but you get to learn to know some of those people that's on that NASD employees and board. They have been helpful in the past, I guess, board. That's one way to get to know them. Especially some of us that don't get to go to, probably gonna be picking corn instead of going to La Vista. The La Vista one is really a good one. Get to learn, know quite a few people, but, this
Yeah.
one,
NASB is also the organization used to, search the present superintendent.
no,
No, nurse set.
Oh, you did use those. I'll blame that.
That's more the rural.
but they do have a lot of things. And full-time people working for it. They did have a lawyer, I don't think they got a lawyer.
No, they provide ALICAP, the insurance company.
The ALICAP has really come a long way from, I can't remember back in the, they started, but the information they put out and I know. And there was on the other end of the, end of the deal, but they, just the information they put out.
And that the place to get that suicide paper is www.sprc.org. I highly recommend it that we have it printed. For us, just.
You know, we've got a movement in the state right now to convince the legislature that we need to come up with some funds. Oh, so we can bring in a professional to visit with some of our young people and make them consider it, rather than providing the money for gun trainings of 2 or 3 people. We need to be able to reach some of the people with the mental issues that we have, you know, walk around some things. How to move it.
I thank all you guys for coming. It's nice to see faces out there. And Kenny, you guys go ahead and get some ideas and get us a fresh look at this if you can.
All right.
And, Tara and Mr. Gaffney will come up with something, the plan that we had before, very simple one. And,
We'll just go from there.
go
Take
from
what was
there.
proposed before and see if we can build off and get something going.
So we can't let it slide because the next thing we know, it's gonna be next June and it's too late to get anything done.
Right.
So
I got one other thing.
I was told not to let you have too many.
But we're still before 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Farm Credit Services of America has awarded us $1,750 in grant money to help defray the expense of processing a beef report that we might get down the road. And I'm quite sure I've got a couple of people that are at least visiting with me about beef in our school program that we tried to get off the ground, which we did get off the ground. We're needing more good old Nebraska, Logan County, Lincoln County, McPherson County, we fill in all 3 of those counties, take a beef into that area. Or somebody wants to donate money towards the purchase of one of those beefs, we'll take that as well. But we're gonna keep advertising and see what we come up with. We had our last beef and noodles the other day. They were very good. I got tied up in my office and they ran out before I got down there. So I can't tell you how great or good they were, but they sure smelled good coming up into that room. this. And give credit to, Mrs. Amos for pushing this, with this, banking institution. If this works with this one, it's liable to work with some of the others down the road too. So anyway, I'm gonna make note of that. And I'll have, ways to get this information out. Really in the paper and everything. I'm pleased with it.
Okay. Well, thank you, and I guess we'll close this meeting. The next meeting is November 19th at 7:30. 7:30 next month. The library. We have a report from you, your co-host.
And one last thing, before you put the gavel down, read us a happy birthday.
Christy's a singer.
Oh, you're just a piano player. Give us the drum roll or whatever.
Lacey ran away before we could sing to her.
We're ready. 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Franklin. Happy birthday to you.
Now,
All right, I wasn't gonna say.
I think there's plenty over there, but there's pie and whatever. Help yourself to a piece of that before you leave. All of
Oh, you're old.
Young buck.
you. Don't force Josh to eat.
I do too. There we go.